Alright guys, it is Sunday. Today I need to do the front disc, brakes, new rotors and pads, and drain the transmission fluid and top that off. That's my goal for today, keeping it nice and simple. If I do have some extra time, maybe I'll start working on some of the brake trailer wiring, but I just want to keep it easy. It is 3 o'clock, I got someone coming over for a bunch of parts. I'm hooking someone up. I got like tires, just a whole bunch of other stuff, a bunch of JK parts. Anyways, hooking this person up, 60 bucks takes it all. I'll show you a picture of everything I'm including in that. But gonna go ahead and get started on this. Hopefully nice, quick, and easy. I gotta do the front wheel bearings too. I've never done this style front axle before, so I'm hoping it's pretty straightforward. It's gonna take me a couple hours, I'm sure of it. But if I can get it all done and dialed in, hopefully the brakes all the way around will be good. Don't bleed the system and be a lot better place. All right, let's get started. Oh, let me show you my front power steering fluid is leaking everywhere all over again. One of my hoses on the bottom, I didn't get it in there tight enough, and it just leaked out the bottom of that, and it's leaking out the cap. So I gotta figure something out for that. But again, still working on stuff, making things happen. Let's get started. Also, for anyone curious on the wheel adapters, that's what it looks like now in the back versus that on the front. So a lot better width and everything in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and be tossing those on in front as well. For reference, here's the parts list for today's fun and games. The rotors, pads, bearings, hopefully those are the right bearings, adapters, transmission fluid, grease, new lug nuts. So in theory, should be really quick and easy. In reality, it's probably gonna take me way more time than it probably should. It's a couple hours worth of work right there for me, maybe an hour for some pro. Found a good how-to online. Got the rotor off with the pads. They're pretty worn out. And then from here, you can see how the wheel bearing is loose. Hopefully you guys can see that. So yeah, this definitely needed to be repacked and replaced. We'll keep on at it and get this all done. I'll show you what this looks like torn down. All right, so I got most of this off. This will give you a better idea of the loose wheel bearings. If you couldn't see it before, you can definitely see it now. All right, now to take this whole assembly off. And I totally forgot that this was a 1/2 inch drive on this side. So I might have to run to the parts store real quick and either get a 1/2 inch wrench or an adapter for that. Damn, forgot about that. Okay, just got back from the parts store. Show you what I picked up. More bearings. I'm gonna go ahead and do the inner and outer bearings. That way I have both all done. Got some more grease. Gonna go pack all that in. Got my adapter. Gonna try and fix the front power steering that's leaking. And then also picked up a new steering stabilizer. Yes, I'll swap out an OME one later on when I do the suspension, but for now, hopefully that'll just replace what's in there. Hopefully the one in there is shot, and this will be at least a decent upgrade. So, all right, get back at it. For the record, it is about 5:30. I'm hoping to be done before midnight. If everything goes smoothly, it'll be before then. But knock on wood, you know how that shit goes. And there we go. Got everything off. That's the inner bearing. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and replace that bearing, and just go ahead and repack everything, clean all this up, put the new brake rotor on, and get this all bedded up together. It's gonna get super messy, so I'm not gonna film all that, but I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that seal as well, and I'll come right back with how that looks. Alright, it's coming along. Okay, got the new bearing and the new seal on. Everything's packed in really well. Got the bearing packed in nice, new seals on. I'm gonna clean that up again, change out the rotor. I greased this all up with new grease, and I'm gonna go ahead and slide on everything and reverse order it all. Hopefully everything's looking good, and I'll get this separated pretty easily. I might wait and do this after I do the disc next time, but I'm not really sure. We'll just see how it works out right now. Okay, it is now 8 o'clock. I got one side completely all buttoned up and done. New brakes, new inner bearings, new outer bearings, let me say that again. New rotor, new brake pads, new inner bearing seal, new outer bearing, everything's all packed. It's a really dirty job, but everything's all packed, torqued down. Hopefully I got the, what's it called, the preload and everything down right. I watched a bunch of videos. Hopefully got that all done and buttoned up. So yeah, it's a bit of a messy job, but overall not too bad. Now that I know how to do it and I don't have to go to the parts store again, hopefully I can button up the other side pretty quickly. Goal is to get the other side done, all buttoned up, drain transmission fluid, replace the transmission fluid, and if I have any extra time, I'll try and do the front steering stabilizer as well. Yeah, that's it. So again, we'll see how it works out. It's 8 o'clock now. Hoping to get the other side done before 10, knock on wood, see how fast I can do it now that I know what I'm doing, and go from there. Wish me luck. Okay, not bad. It's 9:38 now. Just wrapped up this side. New brake, rotors, new pads, new inner bearing and seal, new outer bearing, and all wrapped up. Good to go. Now I'm going to toss on the adapter, and then hopefully, like I mentioned, toss on that steering stabilizer, drain the transmission fluid, and be done for tonight. I might, if I have enough time, if it's not too late, I might take a look at this power steering pump. But at the very least, that gets me dialed in a lot better shape than I was before. Like I said, I'll finish up around 2 tonight. Hopefully button this all up. I'll let you guys know as soon as I do. I'll fast forward this and show you what I'm finishing up with. But anyways, let's get to it. Let's button this up and finish her up. Get it back on the ground. Okay, good news. It is 11:13 and I finished everything that I wanted to finish. What I ended up doing was I checked out the steering stabilizer. Turns out it was the exact same one. It was just the Gabriel from AutoZone that was already on there, and it was actually in really good shape. So I left it on there. Hopefully they'll take the other one back. I know the people at AutoZone really well because I go there all the time. Changed the transmission fluid, at least drained it, put new transmission fluid in there. It actually wasn't too bad. It was darker red, but it didn't look black or super burnt or anything. But good maintenance, at least that's done. Also, I looked at the hoses on the power steering and it didn't look like they were leaking from the bottom. It could just be now that it's all drained out that's why it looked like that. But it definitely looked like it was draining from up here. It was all still wet and everything. So what I did was I got some gray gasket maker, and I've heard if you go ahead and clean off the top really well and then put gasket maker all around, close it and let it dry for a bit, that helps. So I'm letting that sit. I'll let it sit for about half an hour before I start the rig and back it out, but we'll see how that works out. Hopefully that'll help at least a little bit. Other than that, I did grease all the fittings on the rear and front drive shaft, so at least now I put a ton of grease in there. It was actually exploding out of one end that I didn't even realize. So at least that should be good. Hopefully that'll help with some of the clunking. It had some play, but up and down, that play went away as soon as I greased it all up. So again, hopefully that'll be good. I'm trying to think what else. I'll try and bleed the brakes with Shay tomorrow, and then work on the electronics for the brake controller and the 7-pin brake, and hopefully be in a good position, at least a lot better than I was. So I've done a lot of work on the rig, and I'm hoping that this will help me a lot more to get it up there. Only time will tell, right? So anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. It's Sunday night right now. I'll try and post this tomorrow on Monday and keep you guys posted on the adventure. So again, we'll just see how everything comes along. All right guys, good night.